on this scooter, it lights up. It's really cool. Do you see the light? You can't see the lights.
That's crazy.
Wee.
Okay, it's like raining on us.
If you ride a bike or a scooter to school, you're gonna have to lock it up in the front of the school only. You cannot lock your bikes or scooters up in the back of the school. They can only be stored in the front of the school this year. And remember, you need to bring your own locks.
And if you ride a skateboard to school, you put it here.
All right, Grizzlies, here's the deal. This Wednesday, the tardy policy goes into effect. The tardy policy? Yes, it's time for you to be on time. Be to school on time, try and be here by 7:45. You gotta be to class on time, that means in your classroom before that bell rings. If you are not, teachers will close the doors. Somebody's gonna end up talking to you in the hallway and you're gonna end up getting consequences and you don't want to have to deal with that, so just be on time. Today, tomorrow, make sure you know your schedule, know where you're supposed to be so that on Wednesday when the tardy policy starts, you can be where you're supposed to be. We want you to be on time all the time, because that tardy policy is right around the corner. It is happening Wednesday, people. Wednesday. Be ready.
Hey, good morning, Granite Park. Principal Griffiths here again. Today we have a guest, and I wanted him to introduce himself to everybody at our school, since he's here almost every single day. Vince, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Vincent Savoy, and I grew up in Hawaii, but I live here in Utah now, and I work here at Granite Park as the gang prevention specialist. I love working at Granite Park because it's so diverse, but sometimes when I'm working in the halls, I hear a lot of racial slurs, and especially the N-word. I wonder what the policy here is.
So here at Granite Park, when we hear words that aren't allowed in school, and racial slurs are some of those words that we hear quite frequently, that's what we call hate speech, and we just don't want that in our school. So anytime you say something that targets a student based on their race, their religion, their nationality, and their age, the list goes on and on, that's classified as being hate speech, and we don't want it in our school. Does that answer your question, Vince?
Yeah, I think that's a great policy. You know what I mean? I think it'll help make everybody feel more positive and more safe at the school. But say someone does say it in the classroom or the hallway, what do we do then? What's the procedure?
Yeah. So we understand that sometimes students make mistakes and they say things that are inappropriate. We want to work with kids, so we use these mistakes as learning experiences. So here's our process if something does happen. Let's just say, for example, a student in our school says the N-word in class. Teachers will stop what they're doing. They will address that with the entire class and remind everybody that we do not accept that type of language here at Granite Park. Then what will happen is the teacher will contact the front office and notify an administrator that something inappropriate or hate speech was used in a classroom. From there, an administrator will come to the classroom and pull the student out and have a conversation with them about hate speech and why we don't want that language in our school. If we have another documented case where the same student said something again, well, we have to elevate the consequence, and your parent will need to bring you back to school to meet with an administrator. And in that meeting, basically what's going to end up happening is the student, the parent, and admin are going to create a contract basically outlining our expectations when it comes to hate speech. Because we don't want it here. We want everyone to feel like they belong at Granite Park.
No, I think that's great.
And this is a district and a state policy that basically, if you, being a student, do target another student based on gender, race, ethnicity, religion, the list goes on and on, that's classified as a civil rights violation. You can get in a lot of trouble. Using terms or harassing people because they're different than you is just not okay here at Granite Park. what could end up happening is, number one, you get suspended from school, and there's also a possibility the district will remove you from Granite Park and send you to safe school because they have zero tolerance for hate speech.
I know in today's music, especially, like you'll hear all these words and these slurs being used, and they use it as a form of endearment, but not here at Granite Park. You know what I mean? This is like a zero tolerance area. We got to make sure we're respectful to ourselves. Even if you're sharing amongst your friends and you're just talking amongst your friend group and you're saying these words, you never know who's listening, and at the same time, you may offend those people. You know, we want to make sure that all the students are safe here, and that's like the number one concern. So obviously, like what Principal Griffin was talking about, we have all these procedures and policies set in place. So if you say these things, that's the consequence that comes. You know, there's no like, oh, I didn't know this and whatnot. This is what this video is for, to make sure that we are here and we tell you, and that's the warning. Because I know that, you know, all our Granite Park students, you guys are wonderful, you guys are smart, you guys can think of other things to say and find ways to express themselves without using these slurs. So don't do it.
One of the other reasons why we are so adamant about this policy is, number one, we want to keep our schools safe, and we also want everyone to respect each other. We are a very diverse school, and that's what makes our school amazing. And finally, it's your responsibility as a student here at Granite Park to make sure that everyone feels like they belong. And if we do that, we're going to have an amazing school year.
All right, thanks, guys.
Today you'll receive a piece of paper that looks like this. You will use it to keep track of your grades every Monday. How are we going to do this? Let's take a look. Once you get your paper, write your first and last name at the top. Then write down your classes in order. Then write down what the grades are. To check your grades, you have to log into your Granite portal. Click on the owl with the magnifying glass. It should say Focus. Here you will need to click Sign in with Student. Type in your student number, that number that starts with a 4 or a 9, followed by @graniteschools.org. Now type your password. This brings you to the Focus page. There's a lot of information here, but go to the left and look for the word Grades. Here you can see the class, the teacher, the day you have it, and your grades. This is how you are going to check your grades in Focus every Monday. You probably don't have any grades yet, but we want you to get used to this idea as we will be doing this regularly. Thanks, Grizzlies.